Through this video, we will learn the concept of EBIT EPS analysis. If you are from commerce background, you would have already learned this, but those who are not from that background, let's try to understand what do we mean by EBIT EPS and how to arrive at these figures. So first of all, we have sales. From sales, we subtract expenses. Now these expenses can broadly be categorized as variable and fixed. Variable expenses means expenses which change with the volume of operation, whereas fixed expenses, as the name suggests, will remain same or fixed. Okay, so first we'll subtract variable expenses. Now after subtracting variable expenses, what is left is called contribution margin or just contribution. From contribution, we subtract fixed expenses to get EBIT or earnings before interest and tax, also called as operating profit. From EBIT, we subtract interest to get PBT or profit before tax. And when we subtract tax from PBT, we get PAT or profit after tax. Okay. Now, if the firm is not using preference share capital, then we will divide PAT or profit after tax by the number of equity shares to get EPS or earnings per share. Alright, but if the firm is using preference share capital, then it also needs to give preference dividend. So we need to subtract that preference dividend from profit after tax or PAT to get earnings for equity shareholders. Okay, now once we have earnings for equity shareholders, we will divide it with the number of equity shares to get EPS or earnings per share. In the last topic, we have seen that there are four major sources through which a company can raise long-term finance. We have seen how to find the individual cost as well as combined cost, that is WACC. The four sources were equity share capital, retained earnings or reserves, preference share capital, and loans or debentures. Okay, of all the four sources, we won't consider retained earning as a separate source as it is a part of equity share capital, so its cost is incorporated in equity share itself. Okay, so a finance manager has to decide which source should be used to raise the funds. Okay, so low debt means less risk and less return, whereas high debt means high risk, high return. Also, debt is considered to be the cheapest source, whereas equity is considered as costliest source of raising funds. As you can see on the screen, a firm has the following options to raise funds. First is exclusive use of equity capital, or exclusive use of debt, or various combination of equity and debt, or various combination of debt, equity and preference capital. Generally, the second option is not used. Equity will be there mostly, but only debt is very rare case. There are many techniques which are used to find the optimal capital structure of a firm. Two such techniques are EBIT EPS analysis and leverage analysis. In EBIT EPS analysis, we will learn how to calculate EPS and how to find the break-even point or break-even level, and we will also learn what do we mean by the indifference point or level. From exam point of view, mostly the questions are asked from the calculation of EPS. So you'll see those questions also. Calculation of EPS will depend on the capital structure of the firm. Depending on the situation or source of capital that is used, EPS will vary. So let's solve a question to understand this.